Welcome to DIU Escape Room Reviews. I'm Tom.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil.
Yes.
And we review escape rooms.
That we do.
We enjoy doing escape rooms.
That we do.
Today, we're going to talk about Trapped
Yes, we are.
in Stamford, Connecticut. They have 3 rooms, working on their 4th room. They have Time Chasers. They have Museum Mayhem and Abducted. Escape from the Madman. We're going to go in the order that we did. We started with Time Chasers, and we'll click on the more information here because I got my cheater. This one is a 4 to 10 person game. 60 minutes. Out of 5 locks, it's 5 lock difficulty level.
We did this with 6 people.
We did, yes. We booked
Our
it.
3, and then we were put in with a group of another 3.
Right. This one here is the President of the United States, President Palmer, has fallen ill and has 1 hour to live unless he is administered a cure for his terminal disease. The Time Chaser Corps, TCC, has been tasked with finding the clues that will lead them to manufacture and deliver the cure. Unfortunately, all the TCC agents are out on other missions and will not return in time. You have just been sworn in as TCC agents, recruits, and are the only hope for President Palmer's survival. Will you discover and administer the cure before time runs out? That's it. This one actually won an award, this room. For Room Escape Artist 2017 Golden Lock-In Award. It is actually the biggest escape room that we've ever done.
Yep.
And it's here, it even says it's 925 square feet is the size of this escape room. That's
Pretty
bigger
damn
than
big.
most average apartments. Okay? It's big. And it says it's their largest, most advanced, and most difficult escape room. I'm going to go back to the most difficult after we review the other 2 rooms. But I enjoyed this room.
I did too.
I
I think this room had a great wow factor when you go through the door.
agree with that, 100%.
One of the best wow factors I think we've seen, right up there.
Yes.
Right up there. There's very few that are that wowy.
Yes.
Is wowy a word?
Wowie, but it is not.
Wowy?
It's DIU certified now.
Yeah.
Wowie. Very immersive. When I first saw the logo and the picture and all that, I thought it was going to be more of a Back to the Future type thing, and it is, but it isn't. I thought it was going to be more based around, because I didn't really read the story, but I thought it was going to be more based around almost like a Back to the Future.
About the movie.
About the movie, right.
And it is not.
It is not. They just used the logo, the lettering. To me, these were very good puzzles. They weren't very hard.
Once you got the hang of
Right.
what was going on.
And I mean, you got to watch the video beforehand. But and everybody says, "Oh, really? Don't look around until the video's done." But who really listens to that?
I do.
Well, you, yeah. Well, that's why we're a team. You do that part. I look around.
I love the videos.
I look around. So right off the rip, I had already seen what we had to do. For one lock anyway. And I thought it was really done very well. And it took almost all of us to really concentrate on that one. Again, we were put in with 3 other people. One of the 3 others had done a room. The other 2 never did. And I thought we worked very well.
I think we did too.
There's a couple times where, you know, there's one person on their team. Well, it was our whole team, but of the three, he's just walking around following everybody. Unfortunately, that kind of irks me, especially when you're walking around with your hands in your pocket. And I actually mentioned it to him. You know, instead of just walking around following everybody with your hands in your pocket, look for stuff. You know.
Well, you know, that's how he wants to experience the room.
Well, okay, I get it, but that irks me. That just irks me when, you know, you don't want to be a part of the team, or maybe you really just don't know what you're doing. But at least admit, say that you don't know what you're doing, you know. But after I said that, he actually started working and doing stuff. So, this one, it was 1, 2. I'm going 5 rooms on this one, easily.
1, 2,
Maybe
yeah,
6.
5 rooms.
It was 5?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 rooms. We beat this one right down to I think we had 1:46 left. The room was done very, very well. There was a lot of thought put into this room. And this was our first experience with an escape room with Trapped. Actually, we got to talk about that too. We'll add that. We'll add our very first experience in Trapped. We'll add that at the end, maybe. Without giving spoilers, you had to travel through time, and you did travel through time. I thought it was very well done, and
I thought the immersion factor was right up there with some of the best we've ever done.
yeah,
And I thought the puzzles in each room, in all the rooms, I think we could safely say, had different themes.
right.
I don't think that
you had
gives
to travel
anything
in time,
away.
right?
And each room being a different time period, a different theme, the puzzles fit that theme really well.
Yep.
And I liked it. I really did. I think some of the rooms were better than others,
Right.
you know, but
Again.
not everything's going to be a home run.
Yeah, right. Right. I don't even really know what else to say about it, except I highly recommend doing this room.
This is definitely a room where more people would be a little bit beneficial.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
we
not-
had
not too many,
6. You know, our core is the 2 of us.
Right.
Lately, it's been 3 people. I could see 4 being a good number.
Yeah. Possibly even
Possibly
5.
5. But no, it's a good solid room, big space. If you do have a large group,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
I
a
could
large group of people could definitely fit in this room.
Yeah, I could definitely see. Here they want number 4 to 10. So I just 10 people could fit
Yeah.
in the main room with no problem.
And if you do the room the right way, there's definitely enough puzzles to keep everyone occupied at the same time.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yes, because if you
I don't
if you
want to
pay
give
attention,
away what
if you
the
pay
right way
attention
is.
to the video and you pay attention to the game master, then you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I see how they got the Golden Lock-In Award from Room Escape Artist. This room does deserve some type of an award.
Yeah.
We follow Room Escape Artist.
Hi.
But yeah, okay. I think that's about it for that room, honestly. So what do you got? 1 to 5.
4.
I'm agreeing with you. 4. Solid 4 room. I highly recommend doing this room. Let's move on to our next room. Abducted. Escape from the madman.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. This one is their scariest escape room, but not too scary.
Nah.
You have been abducted. You wake up to find yourself locked in a stranger's closet. The last thing you remember is being grabbed on the street with your friends and thrown into the back of a white van that said free candy. No, it doesn't say it there.
Strangers' vans have the best candy.
You have no idea what happened or where you are. As you slowly come to your senses, you hear the voice of what can only be described as a crazed madman. Can you find your way out before it's too late? This one is actually is a decent size. They put their square footage up on their website, which is right here. This one was 525 square feet. They have it on here. 525 square feet of get out before you die exhilaration.
Because you'd really hate to die.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed this room. I really enjoyed this room. Some of it was a little frustrating, but you always get somewhat frustrated in an escape room, no matter what it is. But I thought the clues, codes were great. It was like your classic escape room. It was pretty immersive. When you got in, yep, you felt like you were in a closet. There was one lock I've never seen anywhere. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I fell in love with this lock.
And I was going to do it wrong. I didn't understand it.
Actually, I almost did it too, but then I realized what it was, and it just worked. One of the coolest locks I've ever seen. Other places that do this, you're going to see more of this lock. Well, maybe not though, because maybe not. But this was a really good lock. Actually, we were talking to the owner of Deadlocked about this room, because they had done the room, and they forgot about that lock, or she wasn't a part of that lock. Somebody else was. But that lock impressed me. You had your standard clue delivery over the television. There were some pretty cool ways to do that. You had to get your keys. You had to get your there's more keys than anything else. But some props. I can't stress this enough. Some props that you need to use in order to get codes and clues wear out. Please check on them, even if it's once a week. Because how many people you have going through the room, how many people are using this one thing, you got to stay up on replacing this stuff and or making sure it's actually working before you start the room. You have somebody go through the room. I was very frustrated with it. Your daughter started to get frustrated a little bit.
I didn't use it.
You didn't use it, right. And in order to use this one prop, it wasn't working right. Finally, we got it to do what it had to do, and we got in. We did what we had to do, but make sure you check on these things, because there's nothing more aggravating than something that's supposed to work that doesn't work. Even if you got to put a second one in to make sure it works, whatever. That goes for if you got to use a mirror, if you got to use flashlights, make sure the batteries are in them. Put fresh batteries are cheap. You can go to Ocean State and get a pack of 4 AA or 4 AAA for $1. Okay? Even if you replace them every other game or once a day. I've DJ'd for 20 years now. Every gig, I've always replaced batteries in my wireless microphone. Every gig, whether it was I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights, Saturday nights, I replaced them. It cost me $4. Well, $8. But I replace the batteries every time because I want everything to work all the time. So pay attention to all that stuff. Especially the flashlights. If you have flashlights in the room, make sure the batteries are replaced. They're you can find cheap ones. Dollar store, they got them. You know, you $1 for 4 of them or whatever it is. Replace them. Replace the batteries, please. Other than that,
I like how this room, which was 4 rooms,
yes, I would call it 4
1,
rooms.
2, yeah, 4 rooms.
Yep.
I like how each room, in my opinion, built a little bit more. Meaning, they got a little bit better than the room we just did.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I liked how it was building up, all the way to the escape.
Right.
And I liked that. It was a good thing. Something that aggravates me sometimes is you do a game that has multiple rooms, and the first few rooms are really good, and then the last room is kind of lackluster compared to the ones, the other ones in there. And sometimes it seems like almost an afterthought of, we just have one more space to fill,
or it's we ran out of money type.
Yeah.
Too.
This game, in my opinion, every room was just a little bit better than the room you just came out of.
I agree with that. I agree 100%.
And I appreciate that they did it like that.
Yes. Yeah. There was no detail left undone. I mean, this was a very detailed room. We did beat this room. I forgot how much time we had left. 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, something like that. We want to thank Trapped for staying late and letting us do this room late.
The employees that got there
Yes.
are excellent people. All, not just the owners, but all of them.
Right.
Excellent people. They actually asked us when they found out that, who we were and that we were enthusiasts and everything. Asked us, you got some time to hang around and talk a little bit about rooms,
Right. And we did.
Even if we didn't want to do another room there, they were just interested in having a good conversation
Right.
about it, and
They take constructive criticism very well.
Yep.
They wanted all feedback. They wanted to know our experiences with rooms, and they were telling us about their experience with rooms and where they've done them, where we've done them.
They told us about a couple places that we haven't heard of before.
Right.
That hopefully we're gonna head to.
Right. And we told them.
Yeah.
Actually, it's one we have to review. We told them about the wigwam, and they looked it up within the next couple of days, and they were into it.
Yeah.
And another room we have to review, which is the Lock Museum in Terryville. They really liked that idea. So, and they told us some about New York, and we have yet to venture into New York yet. We've been in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. So we haven't ventured into New York yet. We will eventually. We still have we got quite a few rooms left to do here in Connecticut.
There's some.
Before we're tapped out.
And if you want us to come to your place,
Yeah.
let us know.
Email will be right here. I'm not gonna say it because I screwed up earlier. DIU escape room review at gmail.com.
Singular.
So 1 to 5.
I am at a 3.5.
I'm agreeing with you 100%. It was almost 4. It was, but 3.5. Due to the props, due to some things that just didn't want to work for us.
And
That should be replaced.
also, part of that extra half, in my opinion, is the lock. That extra one we've never seen before.
Actually, there was 2.
Or yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, but the one that I that's really stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
It was cool, but I probably would have given this room a 4, had not been for some of the props you need to use in order to get stuff. Just to me weren't working properly, and some need to be replaced. Highly recommend the room.
I highly recommend the
Highly recommend the room. So, again, 3.5 agreed. Next, We just did this one the other night. This is the last escape room for Trapped. But we have one more thing to talk about after. This one is, let me get my cheater. Museum Mayhem. 2 to 8 people in this room, 60 minutes. The Stamford Museum is set to open tonight with a grand gala event. This will be an extremely important milestone for both the museum and the city of Stamford. Unfortunately, last night vandals broke in and completely trashed the galleries. Luckily, they didn't steal anything, but everything is a mess. The museum's curator hired you to help with this serious situation. Can you find all the artifacts, put them in the right place, and have the museum ready for the gala? This one was 400 square feet of masterful hijinks.
And we are our core group of 3.
Of 3, and we were put in with 4 other people. There's two groups of 2.
Yes.
It was a mother, daughter, and boyfriend, girlfriend. And not 100% sure about the girlfriend, but I know the boyfriend has done 1 or 2, maybe even 3 rooms. Again, we're here at number 73 now. Actually, this room, Mayhem, is our 73rd room. So, not saying that we're professionals or anything like that, but we work well together. Now, for me, this wasn't my favorite room. To me, again, props need to be updated, need to be fixed, need to be updated, need to look better in my eyes. Again, I don't know how old this room actually is. I think it is a few years old, but to me, stuff like that, just that attention to detail to that kind of stuff would make experiences a lot better. It was a very immersive room. Felt like I was in an art gallery.
Yep.
Felt like I was in, even when we got into the other rooms. Again, this one, you and me were on the fence too about how many rooms this actually is. I'm saying it's 3, they're saying it's 3, you're saying it's 2.
Saying it's 2.
It's up to you what you guys want to think. To me, it was standard clue delivery system, came over to television. Safes. We talked about this in Deadlocked. Safes. There are easier ways to do safes that don't require... Unfortunately, this one had a 15-minute timeout. And I'm sorry, I have
when
to
you're
say...
working on a 60-minute
right.
thing, and that's a quarter of your time.
Right. Although it did say, call out your answer before you punch it in, but it's kind of hard to read that kind of stuff when you're trying to escape the room. You're working with people you never worked with before, and the room was a very difficult room. But there's different ways to do safes. There really is, and I can't stress that enough.
I think 15 minutes is a little...
Right.
A little much, I really do.
And again, it was pre-programmed. It is what it is. I'm sure there's a way to change that somehow, or do a different way of opening that safe. I'm sorry, yes, that's a little bit of a spoiler for you guys, but that's just, to me, that's just absurd that even though it does say call out your answer,
I will say, after we read that part, when we got on to other things and we did call out answers,
right,
they were very quick
to answer
to say, yeah, you're on the right track, or this
yes,
part of it's wrong.
Right.
Without giving us the answer.
Right, without getting... Right.
But,
right.
They would definitely answer questions very quickly.
They did.
And, maybe if we had understood that a little bit quicker,
mm-hmm.
it would have been a little bit different. I think that especially the first room was a great room. I think it was a clever room.
Right.
I think it was very unclear on what needed to be done and in what order it needed to be done.
And how it had to be done.
Right.
Right.
It's in that, and for being with 4 other people who we weren't used to working with, which we did get along great with everyone. I don't want to say we didn't.
No,
we got along great with everybody. Everyone had a good time. But when you don't know how other people think, and now you have different opinions floating around and different thoughts floating around, when the instructions are unclear to the point of almost misleading, I think it's fair to say.
Yes.
It did get a little frustrating.
Right.
And unfortunately, if you start off that way, that attitude bleeds into all the other rooms.
It does.
You know?
You're right.
So when you go from the first room into the second room, like I said, even though this company was really good at, when you ask the question, answering it, you're at that frustration level when you go into that second room.
Right.
To start with. And again, even in the second room, I think that a lot of the instructions were
vague,
unclear. I don't know if it was misleading on purpose or just by the way that they word it, but I don't know. That's where I stand on that.
Right. There was one time waster in there that I didn't like, that we found out after the fact. Actually, no, we found out during the room, but we had already done it.
Right.
It doesn't actually have part of the room. Unfortunately, that I can't. If it wasn't supposed to be, if it's not a part of the room anymore, then it should be taken out, and or told that it has nothing to do with it anymore.
For being a time waster that wasn't needed anymore in the room, it had the most wear and tear on it.
Well, that's because it was used at one time.
Right.
So
that's what I mean. Right. It had the most wear and tear on it.
Right.
So, like in our last episode when we talked about the wear and tear of props and things like that.
Right. It should be redone.
Yeah.
But again, even in this room, like we got into the second room, the props we needed to use need to be updated a little bit better, make it look a little nicer. We don't know how old this room is, but we've seen other rooms where we've had to do something of the same thing, but the props look great.
Right. And for a company that, as a whole, has pretty good attention to detail, and a lot of the things are done in-house, I think that some of those things should have been addressed or could have been addressed a little bit more.
Yes.
You know?
I also think that this room could have been explained a little bit more in the initial before they say, here's your video. Just some things. Like I said, the one time waster in there should have been explained that it doesn't need to be done. Because right now it has nothing to do with the room. But we did have 7 people in this room, so.
And again, going on that, when they're in there explaining the room to us, if they said, listen, there's a safe in this room that when you do it, call out your answer before you do it, because you're going to be locked out for a quarter of your time.
Right. That should have been mentioned also, not just a sticker on the door.
A lot of times you do these rooms at different places, and when they find that different groups are running into the same thing, they will tell you, hey, listen, we can tell you this, it's really not going to affect the story, it's not going to affect the game.
Right.
But to enhance your time in the room,
Right. Just a little tip in a way. Yeah, I mean, I thought we all worked well, the 7 of us, for us three not meeting them before, and actually even the two people from, you know, the mother-daughter and the boyfriend-girlfriend that never met any of us. I thought we worked very well together.
Yeah, they were nice
did,
people.
We beat it. I forgot with how much time left. We did beat it. And, I mean, all in all, it was a fun room, but honestly, it wasn't one of my favorites to do. It was the least one, my least favorite out of the three here. The 3 escape rooms at Trapped.
And it's unfortunate because I think that if things were explained a little bit differently and a little bit more clearly, and if some things were updated a little bit more, I think this would have been one of my favorite rooms.
Right.
Because I really liked the concept.
I did too.
And I really like the puzzles that went into the concept.
I did too.
And I would definitely give it a much higher rating had those other things been different, I think.
And I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. So, 1 out of 5.
I'm going to give it a 3.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm really,
The idea behind it, the thought behind it was there. The story was there. But just didn't
yeah.
bump it over. A lot of the things in there made it knock down. So,
And it wasn't that, I don't want to put it on them if we're just not understanding it.
Right.
But we were with 2 other groups so now you have 3 different skill levels.
you're right.
And no one understood it.
Right. Right.
You know?
We had to be nudged along quite a bit with this room. We did. And again, we're not novice. We're not professionals. Believe you me, we're not professionals in anything. But we've seen almost everything out there. So,
I think if they at a minimum, if they updated a few of the props, and if they changed the way things are explained,
Yep.
I think it drastically makes the room better.
I agree. So again, 3 stars across the board. Alright, so now we're going to tell you about our very first experience with Trapped.
Oh no.
We did the virtual reality room back in November
The only one we've ever done.
2018, right? The only virtual reality we've ever done. It was 4 of us. It was you, me, and your 2 kids.
Philip and Becca.
And
Then my kids aren't young. Becca is
18.
18. Philip's almost 22.
right. That's Milo, the Wonder Dog. This was an experience. I've never done a virtual reality. I've never played virtual reality. I've never done it. I know your son has.
He's a gamer.
Yeah. And we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
No.
We had an idea, but we were way off. Again, it was an experience. I'm not going to spoil it whatsoever, but you want to talk about being immersed in this world. You are totally immersed in this world. To the point where you know you're not going to fall, but you look down and you start shaking thinking you're going to fall. Especially if you're afraid of heights. And I'm afraid of getting on and off a ladder at heights, really high heights. Once I'm on the roof, I'm good. Once I'm on the deck, I'm good, whatever, But if I get on and off, that's the only time I'm afraid. I was deathly afraid of falling, and I was shaking, literally shaking.
I'm afraid of falling. Secured heights, like if you're in a Ferris wheel or something, I'm fine. But something where the fear of there's a possibility of falling, walking to the edge of something,
Right.
Just does me in, and it really screws with your head. You're not there. You know you're in a little cubicle.
Yep.
And yeah, I was At one point, my daughter looked at me because you could see
the avatar.
the avatar of everyone else. My daughter looked at my avatar and says, "Your avatar is shaking." That's how much I was, you know.
And you fell.
I did.
In the game.
In the game.
In the game. I almost did. But your son flew through the whole game with no problem.
Yeah. Everything is very realistic in it. All the things you have to do are ultra realistic. I think we can tell them the setup though. You're in a room that's 4 little rooms connected together.
Yeah, 10 by 10 room probably.
Yep. And each person is in their own little space, and you have a headset on, and you have controllers on your hands.
Right.
And as soon as they put that headset over you, it's a total blackout, and then once they turn it on, you're there in that virtual realm.
Right.
And no matter where you look, it's like looking the way you would look. You see your arms the way you would see your arms. You see
hands. You
hands,
see everything.
whatever it is. And I was a little unprepared for how much it would kind of screw with your head a little bit.
I was not ready for that either. Actually, it's a 10 by 11 room, but so 10 by 10 is fine.
Yeah.
It was an experience.
For a gamer like our son, it was heaven. He was
Your
flying
son.
through it.
Your son, not ours.
My son, yes. My son. You were flying through it, and he loved it, and he loved every bit of it. You know, for me, it was more of the wow factor of how realistic it was.
I agree.
And I wasn't. It starts off slower.
Yep.
And then builds up, and I wasn't expecting it to get to that kind of level.
Right.
And
if the floor moved, you felt yourself moving. It
yeah,
was very immersive. That's all I can really say. I'm trying not to give the spoilers, but virtual reality really messes with your head. It was good, though. It was an experience. I would do it again. Knowing now what I know, I would do it again.
now it's not the program itself, the game itself. You're doing puzzles and a couple puzzles. You're doing manipulating different things, but it's not a true escape room.
No.
When we were down in Florida, my son did another one that was an actual escape room.
Right.
You were in a jail cell. You had to figure out how to get out of it, how to get out of the next room, how to get out of the next room.
Right.
Again, without ever leaving your little 10 by 10 spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the first person ever at that facility to beat it.
I believe it.
And he was invited to a VR tournament.
Nice.
But for what we're doing to get back on track here, I would recommend, if you want to do a different experience, it's something different to do.
It is.
It definitely is.
I recommend anybody to do it because it was an experience. I found it to be a good experience. You got to the point where you tried to bribe the game master to just jump you to the end, but
I yelled out, I'd give him $20 if he got me past the spot where I was at, because I was not moving. I am not ashamed to say that I was in one spot, shaking in my shoes, and my daughter was just about in tears, and
yeah. But it was, like I said, it was an experience, and we recommend everybody to do this. So,
other than that, I think every worker we've encountered at this place has been super.
they are enthusiasts, just like we are.
Yeah. They really take feedback and constructive criticism to heart.
They really want to hear what your experience has been.
They want to know where you've been, what you've done.
Even the owners. Owners are the same way. We finally met the owners when we did the Museum Mayhem, and some of the nicest people we've met.
Yeah.
Great conversation with them. They truly want you to have a great experience there.
Yeah. Now these are people that understand that there's a difference between a group of people that is an enthusiast and a group of people that are just looking to do something on a Friday night, something different,
Saturday
which
night.
is how we started.
Right.
You know,
In all reality, that's how we're.
and that one group is going to take it a lot more seriously than the other group.
Right.
And they understand that, and talking with them, you know, they really, you know, understand that fact, and they really want to build it towards a certain clientele.
Right. I agree. So Trapped also is working on their 4th escape room. I forgot to mention this earlier. It's called Tremor on the Tracks, and we actually got a little tour of
It's
it.
a little sneak peek.
A little sneak peek. And just a little sneak peek, this room is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a really one-of-a-kind room that you probably won't see anywhere else.
I'm very excited about this room.
I'm looking forward to this room.
I mean, Time Chasers was an incredible room.
Right.
I think I'm more excited about this room.
Exactly.
Than Time Chasers.
I agree.
And
you're getting the sneak peek.
Again, I got a spot in my heart for owner-operators and family businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And they're building everything themselves on hand.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of it is their craftsmanship and their ideas and what comes out of their crazy heads, and
Exactly.
the attention to detail that they have
Is
incredible. Just unbelievable. Just seeing what was done already, knowing it's far from being done.
Well, not too far.
Well,
because they're supposed to open within, from what one of the workers said, they were hoping for end of March 2019, April 2019.
I mean, going from the spot that it's at now, to what the finished product's going to be.
Right. So, hopefully by April of 2019.
And they're busy little beavers if they're going to get it done that quick.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, so you can always call Trapped and figure it out, or go to the website right here. So that's Trapped out of Stamford.
Go there.
Go there. If you get some time, go on Facebook, like us. DIU Escape Room Reviews on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Same thing. If you think that we haven't done a room, or you're an owner and you want us to come check out your place,
Or you want a beta tester?
beta testers, we'll do beta testing. Send us an email. DIU Escape Room Review
Singular.
at gmail.com. Thanks for watching. I'm done.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil. We'll see you when we see you.
Peace.